it's Jess here and welcome back to Rugby Rodeo Season 2!
Now, I don't know if you know about it, but Jess and I are a little bit busy with the Rugby World Cup and the Red Roses.
So the podcast is going to look slightly different.
For the next few weeks, our friends Emma and Sara are going to be taking over the pod.
And you might even get some little chats, little sneak peeks from me and Ellie inside camp.
So, sit back, settle in, and we'll see you after the World Cup, hopefully with a gold medal round our necks. So till then, enjoy the podcast and we'll see you soon.
So big thank you to Ellie and Jess for trusting us to take the reins on this one. See what we did there. I'm back. It's me. It's Emma. Friends with both Ellie and Jess. Have played with both of them before. With Quins, both of them, against Jess nowadays. And I'm very happy to announce that I also have a co-host with me in Sara Svoboda. So welcome.
Thank you so much. So excited to be here.
So obviously we had to get somebody in with another accent. We can't just have a South accent and another set. We have to have something taking over that Northern from Ellie. So Boda.
Thanks, Gal. So excited to be here.
Why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
For sure. So as Swordsy referred to me, I'm Sara Svoboda, but people call me Bodes, Boda, Svobo. Any derivative of my last name will do. Yeah, I guess we met Quins. I was homeless for a little bit, moving into the new club, and Swordsy is the type of gal that will take the shirt off her back to help you out. And her family put me up for a month while I was in between clubs, and the friendship blossomed from there. But yeah, it's been so fun joining this new club and seeing our friendship flourish.
And you are back playing this year. Obviously, you had a pretty tough season with injury, but you're back.
I am, yeah. Had a kind of tough go at the start of the season. Really loved joining the new squad. Things were clicking. And then 2 games in, tore my meniscus. Ended up being a long-term recovery. So that took me out for the rest of the season. But was just kind of stuck in with a group of rehabbers and really knew it was the place I wanted to be and wanted to return to. And that's where I got to meet the likes of EK and not Jess, but we've met under different circumstances, but we can get into that later.
Yeah. And now we're here hosting a pod whilst the girls are away, hopefully winning the title. I know that might be more, well, can I say that? Obviously I've represented different nations, but don't you think Canada, I know, might not be involved this time round, but they're in for a pretty good shot this year.
So excited with what the girls have been able to do. They've just been building over the last few seasons. For those that don't know, I've previously been capped for Canada, so really excited to watch the girls come out and give England a good go. But I'm so excited to see how those 2 teams do in their respective pools, and then hopefully we get down to some, cracking games later on in the tournament.
And hopefully, like you did against England, they can put some tries against the Red Roses.
That would be great to see. I think they're really building towards some great things. We saw them take it to Ireland last week, and they had a really strong Pac 4, obviously beating New Zealand. So in the previous year, so looking forward to some more results like that. And
didn't you and Jess, you got your first cap when Jess got her 6 tries or whatever she.
Yes,
I know you were on the pitch.
PTSD. Yeah, that. Funnily enough, I believe that was both of our first caps at StoneX in 2017. I think that day we had capped 13 new players.
I mean, it showed.
A little,
no offense.
A little bit.
I can say that because I was sat in the warmth of the.
You were there. Let's go.
I'm just one of those armchair, whatever.
No, that's
booths.
fair. A bunch of our girls had taken time off after the 2017 World Cup, and that put a bunch of us youngsters in a spot to put our hands up and take the field for the first time. And Jess had a stormer. Things weren't great for us, but we built from there. And I think the next 2 games we got to play at the Stoop, and then our final game was at Twickenham. So how can that not be, a great first tour? The results didn't go our way, but it was cool to have our paths cross at that first point. But good memories.
But I guess with the World Cup coming up now, and that is obviously why we're sat in these seats, the girls are away prepping. The favourites, especially after some of their performances of recent, we can't deny that they have been pretty electric. from the Red Roses point, we can always talk about.
Nope, I'm here
Canadians
for
as well.
that. No, completely. I think me and some of the Quins girls have kind of got together to watch the last 2 tests, and they just look so clinical and comfortable with each other. I think, like you've said before, like they could have 2 extremely strong teams. Like their outfit is incredible, but whatever team they seem to put together, those combinations are pretty hard to stop. And we can get into it later, but yeah, some of those aspects from a forward's point of view, like coming up against that maul is one of the toughest things that they have to put out there. But yep, score against Spain, incredible. We got to see our little Claudia Pena
I know.
step out and make some incredible.
And she got the try.
She did.
She did
We
get
were so
that
happy.
try.
We were like, we can go to bed knowing she
Yeah, she got her.
she put the points on the board. But yeah, no, that was a really exciting game to see from both point of view. But I was really impressed with the 10 from Spain.
Oh, unbelievably
The Sonny
skillful.
Bill Williams out the back passes. I'm like, I wish I could play with that confidence.
I think
need
when
to learn
you're
that.
no, but when you're playing against an outfit like England, defensively unbelievable, and then let's just say if other parts of from a fly half's point of view, you know, it's very hard to play when you might not be getting front foot ball. She was still flicking them out the back and having the best crack out there. And then when she linked up with Klaus, it was like,
Yeah, I was like, more of that at the World Cup, please.
yeah,
So good. Like,
so entertaining.
it's something about the younger generation, like Sarah Perry on our team.
Yeah.
We had an interview the other day, and I think someone asked, like, what do you love about watching each other? And I'm just like, the confidence in this girl, like the game against Gloucester, breaking the line, like just putting boot to ball. Like, this girl has no pause in, you know, taking risks or, yeah, extending herself in any way she can see. And I think it just really pays off for that young group. And I'm like, I want a little bit of that.
Yeah, I know. If we
wanna
could have had
grab her
that
on
when
the
we were
edge.
coming through, fantastic. But the girls actually said, I think it was Jess who said, Sarah Parry, unbelievable in camp. Like, again, for her age, I think she's 18 or 19.
Yeah, her
she's,
and Claudia
anyway,
are right around there.
she's definitely born after like 2000 and whatever.
Don't
We
say
don't
it.
talk about it. But apparently she was incredible in camp. So the future is so bright. But I do agree that confidence in that sort of age group now is unbelievable now.
I'm like, what's in the water? Like, what did we miss? Like,
We had it tough
have
in the 90s. Come on.
Yeah.
We had a lot going on then.
We were wearing Bermuda shorts and
Yeah.
Hollister t-shirts, and no one was looking cute.
And
so.
people thought the world was going to end in 2000 or something crazy with the
yeah,
computers.
there was a movie
so
like 2012 or something
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, we don't have long.
might be suppressed trauma there. Anyway, but there were some other unbelievable performances on that Red Roses
Mhm.
Spain game. And Helena Rowland,
My girl. My lightning
unbelievable.
gal.
Oh, of course, Lightning. You played with her there.
I did. I think it was so cool to see her try out that relatively new position. I'm sure she's played it before, but to come out and make that kind of a statement, 3 tries. And not just, you know, Zoe obviously had an amazing game threading some passes through to her, but her 1v1 battles on the edge, the footwork, like she can break both your ankles in
Offloading
one
out the
step.
back in like space
Mhm.
of 2 meters. She,
Yeah.
again, so much confidence
Yeah.
as a player. And it's just a shame that she hasn't, like, she's not a regular starter because the positions are so set, but she is like, you have her on the team sheet, whatever, because
Mhm.
10, 12, 13, fullback and clearly wing. That's like unbelievable skill set to have.
Yeah, like I think for most teams, it's like you can't have her off the field. And you're right, kind of sometimes versatility can be like a strength and almost that like Achilles heel in that moment
Yeah.
because it's kind of like, well, she'll be so impactful off the bench and anything goes wrong, she's our girl for filling literally any position, like except for maybe 9. But hey, she can probably do that too.
She
so
probably could do 9.
yeah,
she
she's
probably
played some
could.
7, so yeah, definitely. And no, I love watching Hel play. She's just so calm and collected and confident out there. And yeah, being a Canadian, I was secretly like, yes, good job, Hel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good.
And like Sarah Byrne had a great game. She's so fast
It's scary.
and strong, and in that combination, it's just deadly. Like the line break she gets, she's looking constantly. She's playing like centre.
Yeah.
I actually played with her as a centre. I was her 10.
Let's go.
She was my 12. So I did obviously help her get to where she was. She is now.
Just saying.
But you said as well with Zoe, her handling, just zipping balls out, like skipping 3 players at a time, fizzing it, accuracy as well, and all
Yeah.
at speed.
Yeah. I think there was one point where I think she unlocked Jess on the edge and just absolutely threaded a pass. And I'm like, that's world class. Like yeah, those are the kind of things that I think people are going to be excited to have paid money to come see at this World Cup. Like, these girls are incredible. And like you said, yeah, boot to ball, she's always putting them in the right space for that maul to be clinical. But yeah, a couple of those assists, yeah, I think she's really like put her hand up for that 10 jersey.
Totally. And I guess that leads quite nicely into the France game. Because they had 11 changes to the side and Zoe was starting 10 again. And I think a huge part of their success that game was having somebody with that boot to then give the forwards that position to maul, to then get into those like try scoring positions that they did. So
yeah,
that's going to be an interesting one.
It will. Like, teams are going to be so cognizant of not giving away penalties, like even just over the halfway. Like, her and Holly both have that ability to really bury teams deep in their end. And when you have the likes of Amy Cockayne and Lark and even May Campbell now, who's been super impressive, like those girls are throwing darts, and the maul is just kind of too clinical with Abby Ward and Zoe running the show there. So yeah, teams are going to be probably pretty aware of where they're taking pens and staying out of those areas.
I guess it was just such a fast-paced game. So like everything was unlocking. People, you know, there was feedback on, well, England weren't very clinical. And to be fair, Jess actually made a point. She was like, oh, we're getting people saying, you know, it's not very clinical. Well, you're playing against what would be one of the best teams in the world. So their aim is not to make your ride easy as well. So firstly, that was the first time that team had played together since Six Nations, or that combination. Secondly, it is a warm-up game. You're trying stuff. And thirdly, France aren't bad. You know, they're going to put a lot more pressure on than, say, maybe their previous games. So to put 40 plus points past France.
Yeah.
And they didn't score, did they? They only got 2 penalties. It was 6.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's not bad going.
Defensive coach is like, what more do you want from me?
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I think people forget that. Like, France are such strong contenders for this tournament as well. And I was rewatching the Six Nations game from earlier in the fall. And yeah, I think to be able to kind of manage the chaos that France brings, like, is a testament to England and how they played. Sure, you know, maybe things could have been tighter here or there, but I guess that's just, they are falling victim to how strong they are now, that people are like, oh, well, we've seen you, you know, be absolutely flawless, or, you know, only have a few percentage, you know, of errors. And I think that's cool that they're being held to such a high standard. But at the same time, I love watching them versus France. It's so cool to see a team that's a little bit more unstructured, kind of challenge them in different ways. And yeah, still manage them. I think it took them a little bit longer to maybe put some points on the board, but that's what we kind of want to see at this World Cup, like teams challenging each other in that way and really, you know, pushing the envelope of like, who's going to score first? What will these tries look like? And who's going to capture the momentum first? Because when it's a tournament, whoever shows up on the day, like one shot, one kill.
Yeah. I actually was so impressed with their hair braiding, and I have been for years.
Always.
They have nailed, whether they have like some specialist team that comes in or the girls, they always look
it's crazy.
So clean.
I think some of the girls that I play with back in Canada, some of them have played in the Elite One, the French League. And they're like, no, you don't understand. Like, these girls are like pulling your hair so tight that it's like your mom before school. Yeah, you want to cry. You're like, I know it's going to be great for the game, but like my head, I have a headache. Like, they do amazing braiding. And
maybe
like,
for us, like people born in before 2000s, it's like that little facelift that does help out in any awful rugby photo. Yes, I'm shouting out to any rugby photographers. Why do you always put the ones with the double chin and like
delete?
But the French might have mastered that with like a facelifting braid.
It's I think they've nailed it. And they have Bourdon Sansu, the 9, who her signature look is like the braids and then a little bit of hair down. And
I don't know how she does it.
I'm like, when you're that good in the world, we can't really say anything.
She's
getting through the work.
Well, second in the world, I think RugbyPass.
Yes.
Put her as.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So yeah, she's pretty special.
Yeah. No.
And they would have needed her as well on the weekend.
Yeah.
So can't forget that she is due to play for France in the World Cup.
Yeah. She's a very talented player. I think she's 1-9 that you should always keep one eye on them, but especially her her ability to create something from nothing, I think, is pretty incredible. And the way she links with her forwards and backs, yeah, she's just such a great talent for them. And
So she's a bit like their DuPont, really. So just don't cancel France out, because I think she will bring a huge impact to their performances anyway. Another standout performance I had to say about the England game. I thought Maud Muir was unbelievable. The amount of positive involvement she had, probably in the first 15 minutes. I was like, player of the match, like she'll get it. And then obviously Meg turned it up, made some really amazing involvements throughout the game. That great try with her and Mo linking up, quick thinking. But I did think Maud was spectacular.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Maud. She's such a strong carrier, like gets through all the grunt work that you'd expect your props to. But again, like Sarah Byrne, just like so electric in open space and so hard to tackle. I remember commentating the Prem final and just the lines she takes, like she's so hard to stop.
And she doesn't stop on the first.
Nope.
That's the thing.
She will drag the bodies with her to the depths.
And that is just England's depth in a nutshell, isn't it? You've got Maud and Sarah Byrne.
Other teams
one
sometimes
position.
like, what?
Yeah, it's like, oh, great. Let's just get to 60 minutes. And then, the bench comes
Tucker
on.
him out.
It's like, all right, yeah, sure.
Yep.
Either Maud or Sarah's coming on. Great. Just what we needed after 60 minutes of battling out with England. And I actually think that's where England win most of their games. It's like that last 30 minutes. It's like you can't deal with their literal second team coming on the pitch. I generally think for selection, I mean, obviously I'm not in his brain, but it's like, well, who you could, if you were coach, you'd be like, well, who had the better game last week? Okay, she can play. It's not going to change too much of their. Obviously, there is technicalities to selecting a squad, but in terms of depth performance, you could start any one of those players and the job will be done.
Yeah.
Like, probably best in the world at the moment, if not very much compete in that area. So
it's probably down to the point too where it's more of a preference on his kind of combinations for who like really feeds off each other, which is an exciting place to be in. Obviously, it may be frustrating if you're a player tethered to another one and he's like, nope, I like this combination versus this. But yeah, no, you're right. They're not really dropping in standard between those two. It's so exciting to see. And yeah, Sarah's young as well and Maud's super young. So just exciting to see kind of where that path is going for the two of them, continuing to push each other in that spot.
I think that's where their strength lies. And if anyone's like watching in, like the forwards, we all say it so cliche, and this is why I love my big girls, my big strong girls, is you guys literally put them on the platform and then you got the likes of Ellie, Jess, Abby Dow, like tearing up because they've been given that ball. Like it's going to take a lot for teams to stop that because in terms of physicality and dominance.
Yeah. I think that's like one of my favorite like old school rugby sayings, like forwards decide who wins, backs by how much. Like my dad always said that to me. I think when I like had my transition from like center to back row when I was really young, and I was like, oh no, this must mean I'm like slow and useless back in the day when everybody like didn't understand like positions. My dad was like, hey, remember this. You guys decide. It's the backs that, decide by how much. So no, it's going to be so exciting for them to see. And then, yeah, you're right. They are putting in those meters that just unlock all the X Factor players around them. I mean, they're X Factor players in and of themselves, but yeah, to have the likes of like Ellie and Jess running off those girls, or even, supporting those line breaks that the props are getting. It's just, exciting rugby.
But what do you think? Because teams, obviously, there's got to be like an Achilles heel for teams. In terms of England, obviously they're on their 16th or 17th winning. Like they're in a streak now, aren't they? I think it's 16 games since that World Cup final they've won.
Yeah, it's like 1,000 days on the win, right?
Right.
Crazy.
So that in itself is a lot of pressure. Obviously they'll believe in themselves, and rightly so. They've put themselves in that position. But like even, I remember I was such a All Blacks nose back in the years of like 2011 to 2016. Like my favourite players were like Conrad Smith, Kieran Reid. Like they just, I was like, yeah, I want to be like them. I ended up a 9 anyway. But I remember it so clearly. They were on 18 test wins. and then they went to Ireland, and I think they just choked then. Like the Ireland usually get them in some manner, or there's definitely a standoff there. But you can't deny that amount of wins does mount up pressure, and then you're going to ask the team to go out and win a World Cup final at home. That's a lot.
Yeah, you feel like, okay, well, something's like got to give. Like, we can't keep winning forever and ever. But yeah, at this point, it's like this team is looking so strong. But I think that's where it is exciting to see the likes of like my Canadian girls and France and these teams kind of push them in places where they don't often get to be tested. I think something that the Canadian girls have brought a lot is just how, like, you know, the tempo of the game and how dynamic that is. And I think with our French Canadian crew woven in, like, we love that broken, unstructured play too. And I think that's, yeah, something that will be exciting to see. And I think England is always kind of respectful of, they're like, okay, these Canadian gals are like pretty athletic and, you know, ready
you girls
to push
are the
that.
most athletic bunch that have ever come into our league. I remember rocking up at Sara's, what was it, in the COVID year. So we had like Sophie de Goody, Emma Taylor was there, and Alicia Corrigan.
Yep, Leash, yep.
Right. So us English lot are in there. Yeah, we're squatting what, our 80s, our 90s. We're like, yeah, strong girls.
Light work. Those
girls are cleaning that plus some. I was like, what program have you guys been on? Like, you're younger than me by about 4 years as well. I was 25 at the time. They were shifting some weight. And then obviously I played with Julia Schell at Ealing. The cleans that girl was getting up, she was like making 80s look a breeze. What's happened here? And then as for you, what were you were RDLing when she was rehabbing her knee, just some mental like 90 kilos or something. This was just not that. Yeah, I was like, what are they feeding you lot?
I've like always thought about like what makes our group kind of have that like athletic profile. I think we're like, a lot of us play a million sports when we're young. I think like that's true for me and a lot of my friends. Our parents are just kind of like, go figure it out, like see where your skill set lies. And I think probably ice hockey is a big factor, I'd say. Like that's like one of the toughest sports I've ever played. Like the conditioning you get from that, just like the robustness from training from it. Yeah, I think it might be a bit of that. But yeah, a lot of us do, I think, grow up. And I'm not sure if it's the same here, but my mom was like, you're running cross country and track to be fit for whatever you play later. You're going to play soccer for like kicking skills. I'm making my mom sound like a stage mom or like a tiger mom. But I'm so grateful for her. But a lot of our mentality was like, yeah, like more skills, the better. And I think that's even something we kind of say in rugby sometimes, right? Like all skills for all players. And I think that's definitely something that a lot of us kind of really put our hand up to do. And then you kind of find your niche later. But yeah, maybe it's a bit of that.
But I can confirm that girls in my school would like actively, if we had cross country, we'd go and find a tree to hide behind, right? In the cold winter months in some horrible little polo. I can confirm we weren't being told to do it. We were trying to find ways of getting out of it.
Okay. Fair, I think.
So maybe that's what it is. The PE system.
Nurture nature, yeah, maybe. I'd say on the nature part, we have some absolute mutants on our team, and I'm going to shout out Courtney Holtkamp, our farm girl from Alberta. We have some really strong farm gals in Canada that can lift ridiculous amounts of weight and are just like big old gals that you can't really make. They just come out that way. Like, Courtney, you work on a farm. Is there any chance there was some human growth hormone in those cows? Because this isn't how most girls come out. But yeah, it's exciting to have some like kind of bodies like that amongst the likes of like Sara Byrne. And I think it's cool to see girls coming out and being like, my body's doing amazing things for me on the field, and kind of forwarding that narrative going into the World Cup as well, because there are so many young girls looking up being like, okay, I don't look like this player or this, but it's like there's 15 positions that you can kind of track onto and be like, okay, I kind of see that path for me. And
that has been a huge message of recent. I think so many media platforms are pushing that massively about body image, because now that I guess the World Cup is giving that window to rugby, you know, to people who might not watch rugby, or they're just starting to turn their head to it. Like, you're going to have girls of very different body compositions or heights or widths or, you know, weights, to now see them in a World Cup potential winning position for all of these teams, it's like, oh, this could be the place I do belong. Or if she's going out there and putting, let's be honest, relatively tight t-shirts on to go and perform, maybe I don't need to shy away from what my body looks like. Because there's girls out there who, you know, you might not even look at and go, oh, she's larger. She might feel great about her body or not. And I think it's starting to really, really push a narrative of what rugby encompasses, is that it really is for everyone. And people might skim past that sort of superficial, what we might seem as superficial from a physical aspect. But actually, that is so important to a lot of women. How we look and how we feel is a huge part of our profile. And these superstars are out there repping that and on a world stage. So I think the movement is happening. And, you know, if it is, we talk about the lioness effect, hopefully more and more girls do get that inspiration to feel part of something and be seen as something that they might not have seen themselves at.
Yeah, like I think rugby's always been touted as such an inclusive sport, whether that be, like sexuality or, you know, body shape, or like having to be a girl boss and also, you know, be a pro player, or,
this t-shirt.
You know.
What? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, right. Just, and I think, the body image one is huge. And I think we've seen more and more from like Red Rose players, like Sara Byrne, like I think she had a video or something where it's like, you know, sometimes I'm like insecure about this, but then I remember my body can do this. And it's just like a highlight reel of her absolutely boshing people. And it's just like so cool.
She got like 5-point-something million views on that one.
Well,
not that I'm counting, but she's a best friend of mine, so I do care about her successes.
I love it.
But yeah, and she's got like things will happen in her path now that she can be that voice as well. You know, Alona's obviously led that, but then you've got so many different people. You know, businesses are trying to bring a new image to the game, and EK's was it Women's Health, Women's Style mag? She's just had a unbelievable
with the,
shoot.
smoke in the background.
All the colourful
I clocked that.
It was just
this
like,
is cool.
And I actually really rated that she was like, I'm the fittest, fastest, strongest I've ever been. It's like that being paired to a woman, fantastic.
Yeah.
That's not usually the link for many girls. In our world, it might be, but for
to
other
make
women,
that kind of strong statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like track athletes like who just came to mind, Noah Lyles, like he will go out there. I think I watched the Sprint documentary on Netflix and he's like, I am going to win this. And I'm like, true, like why, I don't know, sometimes as women you're kind of like shying away from like making these big statements. You're like, I don't want to over promise, under deliver.
And I know what she'll say and I know what she'll be thinking, and I've heard her say this before about her, and that's how we think. Let's be honest,
100%.
We're pretty damning amongst ourselves.
Truly. And I think that's where like, people like her and like Alona are doing great things by just being like, we're all thinking it, let's just say it, like let's just put it out there and be confident with it. Like onto the body one as well. Like I think Alona put out a TikTok that like made me laugh so hard. It was pretty great. You know the like supermodel quote that's like, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels?
Yes.
She put out being like, have you tried deltoids and lats? And she's just like flexing, and I'm like loving it because it's like, that's so true. Like, and Sadia I think has been a big proponent of that as well. She's like, I used to like hide my shoulders and hide my arms, and like I've definitely felt like that at times. I'm like, I don't want to wear like a, you know, like a tank top or this or that, and how it'll come across. And Sadia has used her platform as well to be like, look at these guns, like look at my deltoids. Like I'm so excited to like be able to, you know, reclaim this body part that I was maybe a little bit insecure about, to be like, look what it's doing for me. And like, or even when she goes on like runs out on like the lightning turf, she'll be like, legs are gonna jiggle, there's stuff in there. Like that's how the body works. And like it's just so cool to see people being like, hey gals out there, like sport is like so beautiful in whatever form it comes in and however your body is able to like propel you forward, and let's celebrate that.
Totally.
So Rugby World Cup, if the Red Roses are going to take it, which
you'll be really happy about.
I have other thoughts, but if they're going to take that crown, take that title, what's it going to take? What do you think in terms of, you know, backs? What two backs are really going to lead that campaign? Okay,
so obviously there is the fly half battle, and like who unlocks England to their potential. I actually think Zoe in the last two games has stepped up massively. Her boot got the team into those 5 meters away from the try line. Like, let's be honest, World Cup winning rugby, can be, you might have moments of brilliance, but we all know like finals rugby is not the most prettiest. It's such a cliche. You just need to get the heck out of your half and as tight to their try line as possible. And then whatever margins then to score, that's what you're playing with. But I think if Zoe Harrison can use her boot, I think she's a massive part. And then again, Meg Jones, I think she's absolutely lit up since sort of solidifying that 13 jersey. No one likes defending in a 13 channel. She is like the jinxiest runner out there. She's so strong. She's so smart. Handle it. She's like the ultimate threat from a 13 position. So I think if those two are on the pitch, I think you're definitely in for a big chance.
Yeah, Meg has looked so solid these last few games. Like, she's running hard lines, over the try line in the gold zone. Like, she comes out of nowhere, and it's just like that, like, ability to like shadow in behind and connect with Mo really well, or Lucy, or whoever's at 9. Just again, like, such a high IQ player and knows how to take those lines from her sevens background. So we'll be keeping an eye on her for sure.
And then flipping it around, big strong girls. Who are the forwards that you think will help them win?
I think Zoe has proved that she's been the best player in the world a couple of years ago, and I'd argue, like we said, the RugbyPass list came out and she's still up there. Like, I think she just gets through an incredible amount of work, but again, is someone that does the basics so well, but then also gets rewarded with some of those X factor moments. Like, she'll have line breaks in the odd prem game, or run a great supporting line off someone, or be the one giving that offload. And I think teams struggle probably to contain her, and then also in the line out, she's like, her IQ is so strong and so high there as well. So I think, Zoe's someone that like quietly gets through a lot of work, and then we'll have those flash moments. So to contain someone like her, again, super athletic, super tall, like
that line break against France, like in the first 3 minutes, I was like, geez, Zoe, you're just like, she actually started out as a fullback.
Did she?
Yeah, she was fullback.
Wow. Shows.
I remember playing her at the North, and she absolutely done me. I was at 12, but whatever. But yeah, she is like athletically gifted.
Yeah, no, I think she's been so strong for Gloucester. Like, you don't three-peat in the Prem by accident. Like, that's not like, oops, how'd that happen? Obviously, they have the likes of Mo Hunt as well, and like Maud and all those players that work around her. But I think she just probably, I'm not on her team, so I wouldn't know, but she looks like the type of lead by example captain that you're just willing to like break your neck for. Like, totally. you want to go the hard yards for her. And then we've said Sara a bunch, so she's a given, but I'd like to shift focus to, I think Lark Atkin-Davis has been unreal. I played with her for several seasons at Lightning, and just her ability to execute in the line out is like, that's like a huge point of difference for teams when making their selection. And a lot of the time it comes down to that. But when you marry that with her work around the park as well, like, she is getting so many involvements and putting your head in the spokes. I said that in training the other day, and the girls are like, what? I'm like, you put your head like the spokes of a wheel, like, it really hurts, you don't want to be there, but you do it. Like, they're like, okay. And I'm like, that's something that Lark definitely does. Like, she's such a strong carrier, like, again, can, bump off defenders and always, I think, get them on the front foot as well. But yeah, just being able to be that clinical and in the line out and, be rewarded with the try off the back of the maul, like, that's her bread and butter. I think a few years ago, in the Prem, like, she was at the top of the table for tries for weeks. Yeah. Like, she might have ended up as the top try scorer, and it's like so well deserved. Like, if you have that ability to like hit those balls right at the back, it's like, by all means, keep scoring those tries. So yeah, excited to see how she comes out. But it is like tight competition with the hookers this year. Like, May Campbell was unreal in the Prem. I'm like, is she a 7? Is she a 6? Is she a hooker? Like, it's been exciting to see her really put her hand up for that spot as well.
Yeah. And hopefully she does get some exposure in it. It's, like you said, it's a bloody tough position.
Yeah.
In England at the minute, that hooker position. So
yeah. And just like psychologically, obviously I have my sports psych background, but I'm like standing there, like, I'm even reflecting back to the 2022 World Cup, like Lark standing there with that, like, that lineup that England or New Zealand stole, like, it's
like, this has to be on the money. Like,
moment.
It has to be on the money.
Yeah.
Well, my boyfriend was a hooker, and he
deep
sometimes just cringes because he knows if a hooker's having a bad day, he's like, I just feel for them. Like, if you've got a solid hooker, which they do, England have ample. It will win you those lineouts that the big boot's going to get you down to the mall as you drive it. And then
that's the thing. Like you're saying, like Zoe and Holly will be able to put them there. So then when you have someone that you're like, okay, it's like, it's Lark or Amy or whoever throwing in. Like when you can take that, not that you're taking your foot off the gas, but you're almost like, I back this person's skills so much.
Let's
yeah,
just make
it's
sure
like
we
let's
execute.
yeah, like lifter jumpers, let's go gals. Let's
Yeah.
not, give them any reason for this ball not to be clinical. But yeah, excited to see her showing.
Obviously, World Cup final being the crux of this whole tournament, really. Other than, build a game and all that good stuff. But people want to win.
Yeah.
What needs to be different, do you think, for the Red Roses this time round when it comes to that final hurdle? They lost in quite a painful way the last one. Which kind of shows because like they were in it to the end and they had a red card really early on as well. So against like a very quick backline of New Zealand, like that shows England were up, well in the fight right up until that last minute.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's like another like cliche to throw out, but it's like if it's not broken, you don't fix it. And they've been sticking to their processes so well. And you can tell they're a team that just knows what they're good at and continues to just build on that and see however many % they can get better each game. It's not like they come out and you're like, oh, okay, this style is, like a 180 to what we saw a couple weeks ago. Like they stick to what works. Like they are well drilled, structured girlies. And if they kind of commit to that and allow everyone to really flourish in their roles, like I think that's kind of the recipe for success for them. It is exciting as well to see so many of those sevens girls like integrating so well and they're not like missing a step, like you're seeing like Jade Shekels and Meg Jones like slot in so well, and then Abby Burton too. Like it's so exciting to see them bring kind of that kind of physicality into the back row. But then equally, this is a tournament where we will see it from other nations. Like Georgia Miller has been incredible for New Zealand. 2 caps. I think I was looking at the different kind of caps and ages of the Black Ferns that they were bringing to this tournament, and they're all like, there's a lot of like low capped players. Even like Renee Holmes and a couple centers are like in the high 20s, and I'm like, that is crazy. How I don't know. When I've played against them, you're like, this seems like you've played together way more, and that's where England, I think, has the upper hand. They have that experience and they bank so many caps in a year. Like it's so easy for them to get so many. But it will be exciting to see how some sevens players from other nations really make their stamp on the game, put their foot down and run away with it like some of them have.
And that highlighting like players like Ruby Tui from that backline has been left out this World Cup. And again, like there's been a lot of talk around that because it's undoubtable. Like you cannot doubt what she's done for the game out there in New Zealand. Yeah, she actually made a huge shout in the last World Cup of, we're here. This game is ours. This is our style. This is who we are. So, people are saying, how can you leave someone like that out of a World Cup squad? But then, like we've discussed earlier, young players coming through, the talent is rife now. And I think it's going to happen more and more in the girls' game now. So, like for years and years, you have people getting 80 to 100 plus 110 caps, Rocky Clark or whatever she reached. That won't happen as regularly now because the turnover's happening. And I think, in the men's game, it's not to compare, but it's like a lot of world-class players miss out on World Cup selection. Doesn't mean they're bad players, but for a very long time in the women's game, it was like, we've only got this amount of players that can actually, play very well to a standard. Whereas now it's like, people are losing contracts now. That's never been the case because the pool was much lesser of quality players. Yeah. And I think when it comes to people like Ruby Tui and stuff, she will believe that she deserves to be in that squad. Otherwise she wouldn't be in a World Cup training squad. Yep. But there is a realism to it. And you go, firstly, coach says, that's what goes. But we're now seeing like a much vaster, especially with the sevens girls coming in and so on, like there's more people to pick from. Yeah. So I think you can't get stuck in the ways of, big names should be there. It's like the time is moving and people have World Cups to win. It's not just a fanciful thing of like, I'm sure she's a great human, great person for the squad as well. But there's only so many tickets to get on that plane and That's where I think in the women's game you're going to start to see that cutthroat decision of going, oh my God, she's being cut now, or she's not selected, but she's still amazing.
Yeah, I think you make such a great point. Like these like figureheads of the game like can get left out, and I think that there was some news that kind of came out from the Paris Olympics, like some huge names on I think it was the USA Sevens team got left out, and yeah, I think it just speaks to like where the game is going. And you're right, like it is growing at such a rapid pace. And one of the back three for the Black Ferns is an 18-year-old. What's her last name? Sorison McGee. She's been incredible. I remember watching her at Pac 4 thinking, oh God, this girl's like so tiny. She's going to get bent in half.
Eaten up, yeah.
Couldn't get caught, so couldn't get bent in half, really. And it's just so exciting to see the direction things are moving. And you're right, with that turnover of more development across the world. And obviously that's such a rugby-centric, nation that if it can happen there, it's like, wow, let's continue to develop people all over. And that's something that North America has struggled with a bit, but hopefully someday we can get into a position where, names that you think should be there are being pushed by those younger ones. And it's so exciting to see girls reaching that level at such a young age.
And I think anything can happen first and foremost within World Cups. Like,
oh God, can it ever?
Can it ever? Injury, you've got people like big figureheads like Charlotte Caslick, for example. She's going to miss out on a World Cup. She would have been, or she was instrumental for them in the games that she had played. So opportunity does come, for all sorts of players, whether they are the older gen and like the people with experience of World Cup winning experiences and so on. But it's so interchangeable now because the quality and the depth of players across the world is just like so much better than it was even from the last World Cup.
Yeah. I think that's like one sport where you truly believe it if you're dropped from a team and coaches are like, okay, keep your phone on. Like, you never know. In other sports, you might be like, yeah, okay. But with rugby, you're like, literally, in 2022, we had one of our younger players tear her ACL right before our opening game against Japan. We had one of our seasoned nines have like an internal organ injury. We had like a couple concussions. Like this, you're not here to mess around in this tournament, and like injuries happen. Chrissy Scurfield was unfortunately taken out early at the Olympics as well, and like the girls went on to do incredible things. And I think to do it without her too was a testament to how they rallied. But yeah, it's injury is such a brutal thing, and so it does keep you on your toes when you're someone that's kind of on the sidelines or hasn't been selected. That anything can happen, and this is where it all comes down to, and where it matters most. So people are putting their bodies on the line, and anything can happen, really.
So in other rugby news, World Rugby are rolling out the flashing LED mouthguards that basically light up when you have a big collision or it detects a big collision. It's obviously trying to highlight immediately if somebody has had a big force to head or they've been involved in a big contact. Obviously trying to speed things up, get players off the pitch, have them assessed. But I kind of feel like...
Hot take?
My hot take is like... Is this one of the... Because we've had many mouthguards fitted, haven't we? Like lots of them.
Lots of versions.
And I'm just like, is this... They've been a bit, not gimmicky, that's the wrong word, but it's like, is this felt cute, might delete later type thing? I don't know. But I just feel like when it happens, say I'm looking at you and then I turn, your mouth starts flashing red. Is it going to be like something out of like I Am Legend? You know, when like everyone starts to slowly turn into a zombie and you just turn, you go, oh my God, you've got the red light. Like, what's going to happen?
I'd be like, Swordsy, don't say.
Don't say. Just go like that. Go like that. You're not flashing anything. It's going to be very interesting to see. And like how many people from the last mouthguards detection through the mouthguard wasn't actually a high impact. People getting taken off. Very frustrating for players. You're like, well, I wasn't anywhere near. I don't know. My mouthguard's just gone off.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe light sensitivity is the way, but
I was looking through the article and it said to kind of help refs idea, and I'm like, they have enough to worry about there. There's 30 people running around.
She's flashing. Get her off.
I don't know. I think the system that we've seen in the past with it, alerting an iPad. Like I was injured last season and I was sometimes the iPad gal that had to alert the doctor if there was a big impact. And you're right. Like I feel like that kind of gets covered there. It could be interesting. And obviously like we're so grateful. The more, safe you can make this game, the better. But it'll be interesting to see like how feasible that is for refs to clock that. Because it is like a tiny little, like a little tooth jewel. Like it's really little.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Or if you like see the light come on, you're like, nope.
Yeah, it's like,
but yeah, interesting to see.
But yes, thank you World Rugby for looking out for us all.
Yeah, they said there was like full buy-in. I think there's like 2 players that just like physically cannot wear it because of braces, but they were like, even those players were down. Yeah. Like the buy-in was 100. So fine. Yeah, good to see from the girls. But yeah.
And then you've obviously like a big push in women's specific rugby boots. So from a numbers point of view, a recent study found that 89% of female rugby players experience pain from boots designed for men. Mm-hmm. And apparently women's feet on a general are wider. And I actually heard, because I studied a sport rehab degree, the reason is that when women get pregnant, they need like that.
To like splay their feet.
So that's why, like little like duck feet to support.
Shout out Julia Shell.
Yes. Oh my God. The flattest feet. If she jumps out of the swimming pool.
I was about to say, you've seen that picture.
I've seen the swimming pool feet. Yeah, it's just these like blotches.
So anyway, maybe she'll be the first customer. Yeah. We love you, Jules.
We'll send you the link, Jules. I've got it here. But yeah, so again, it's another good movement. They're trying to help the gals out.
Yep.
Literally the gals out. You. So, and apparently it's the first metatarsal where studs are traditionally positioned. That's where the women are feeling the pain. So clearly they've moved, or they would have moved like the point of where the stud might be. Or
like front row especially, because they're wearing like big old millimeter studs. Like that's going to be huge for them. And this is like, I think
comfort is key. Let's be honest. We're the
sport ain't comfy. So.
No, it's the least comfortable sport.
Maybe our feet can be.
Yeah.
We can aspire.
And I don't think we can actually ignore the fact that the top 50 from RugbyPass was released. And I think all players were like, in that international side, were like, oh, why is it like drip feeding like this? Yeah. Can we just have the
like
whole list now?
23 to 19,
I want to know where I am.
Yeah.
And I think like, obviously the world top players, Portia Woodman, followed by Bourdon, who you mentioned earlier, Zoe Allcroft, who you mentioned earlier, Alex Tessier, doing it for your little Maple Leafs, and Aoife Wafer, who obviously has been outstanding since she moved to that back row position for Ireland, is coming to join us at Quins. So another back row for you to compete with.
Let's go.
Fantastic. But very interesting. I think people were really, really wanting to see who that top 5 were. Thoughts?
I think if we start with Tess, because I'm so excited for her, like she obviously put her hand up for World Player of the Year next to Ellie this past year. So I think to not see her in that would have been a bit surprising, but equally EK at 11. So an interesting kind of mismatch of players and who we're seeing where, but I think you can't ignore that Tess has been a huge part of the Canadian success recently. Not even recently. She's been at previous World Cups. Yeah. And I think at the one in Ireland in 2017, she was a youngster and still pulling the strings from where she was. So yeah, she's just such an experienced player. I can't say enough good things about her. And I think it was kind of a point in our camp we were like, about time she got some recognition. It's just so cool to see that. She's getting rewarded for all that hard work. And she was obviously huge for Exeter in the past few seasons in the Prem as well. So yeah, not surprised to see her up there. Really exciting. But yeah, I don't know who I thought number 1 would be. I think when we saw Ellie at 11, we're like, okay, well.
Yeah, that was my big surprise. I was like, right, if World Player of the Year is at 11th, who the hell has bypassed that by 10?
And I want to know, is it like journalists' subjective opinions? How much are stats factoring in? Like I feel like I need to know more.
Each name was released with essentially like their stats.
Oh, okay.
So like Portia Woodman was like loads of defenders beaten or lots of the most tries or something scored in.
There was a game against the States, Pac-4, where she gets interviewed after the game and she's a great actor and she's really humble or I guess either of those things. And she was like, how many did I score? Like she seemed to truly not know. And I think she put away like 8 or 9 against the States. And they interviewed her. She's like, what? I don't know how many I scored. And I think, yeah, that stat and then the defenders beaten, like that's a huge one, like for a back three player. So yeah, well deserved.
And
She's
also
obviously
to
a
come
legend.
out of retirement and then just
She's like, no, I'm done.
top
Oh, just
player
kidding.
of the year of the world, like world top players. Blah, blah.
Honestly.
Like, fair play, Portia.
Yeah. So we will be doing the weekly shoutouts just like Ellie and Jess have done in the past. So make sure to send them into the Rugby Rodeo Instagram. And from next week, we will be shouting you guys out.
Big thanks to everyone that listens today. I hope we've done Ellie and Jess proud to carry the legacy of Rugby Rodeo. And we will be here next week. We will be here throughout the World Cup as well. So there will be plenty of stuff to talk about. But thank you so much. And Boda, it's time for your first yeehaw.
Let's do it, girl.
Yeehaw!